If you've ever been in the PC peripheral space or have just watched videos about gaming mice, you've probably come across the narrative of the lighter the mouse, the better. But I myself have been using heavier mice since I first started PC gaming, and my aim has been fine. My flicks felt snappy, and my tracking was still okay. I even reached the top rank in a game that primarily focuses on tracking, a skill set said to be much harder on a heavy mouse. I've never felt like my mouse was too heavy or that the weight was holding me back, so why did I decide to switch anyway? It was actually because I reached that rank that I decided to switch. After realizing that I was just getting aim dipped every fight, I started taking aim training seriously. It was then that I realized my flicks and tracking really felt off. When I played 6-shot for example, it was really hard for me to consistently land on the target on a micro adjustment. I'd either apply too much force and miss by an overflick, or apply too little and miss by an underflick, with very little falling in the middle. If I did want to aim really accurately, I'd tense up my hand a little too much because of the weight and end up in fights where my hand would just lock up due to the tension, hence that flickiness that I required for my aim. In short, making micro adjustments was really hard, so I had to rely on the bigger flicks to hit. Otherwise, it just came down to luck whether I'd killed the enemy or not. These problems are solvable by using a lighter mouse, since it trades some stability that heavy mouse provide for much more agility to aim, in theory making those micro adjustments more controllable, and also reducing the tension in my hand since it is a lighter object. That part of the video was written before I actually got the mouse, and now that I've used it for 2 weeks, I can tell you all about it. The first thing I noticed when I picked it up out of the box was that it literally weighs nothing, which felt kind of insane coming from the G502. Now, does weight actually make a difference in gameplay? The short answer is yes. Now I could go on about all the little details, but it really boils down to 3 main things. First, obviously, all movements are easier to make since the mouse is lighter and easier to move. That was pretty obvious, but most notably, my tracking has improved drastically since I got this mouse. You just have much more control over how it moves. Second is delay. And I don't mean sensor latency or whatever, I mean the physical movements made. On a heavier mouse, there's a disconnect between when your hand starts a movement and when the mouse actually moves. This disconnect can make readjusting to a moving target really hard and inaccurate and will be noticeable regardless of your skill level. On a lighter mouse though, this delay is so little to the point it's unnoticeable and has improved my KD drastically. Finally, there is reduced tension, making that whole locking up problem I mentioned earlier disappear, giving me consistent performance across the whole round and also allows me to aim more consistently during aim trainer tasks. All these benefits came with just one downside however, the loss in stability, making my aim shake more often during intense moments. However, I got used to it pretty quickly and by day 3 my aim didn't really shake anymore. Still, that stability can be trained, whereas the benefits I mentioned earlier are pretty much locked to the physical weight of the object. And with this new mouse, my aim has become much better. So if you're serious about improving and performing well in FPS, I would highly recommend you at least try a mouse of 60 grams or lighter. It really improved my gameplay a lot ever since I got it. But if you don't play these types of games or don't take them seriously, why would something as trivial as the weight of your mouse even matter? Well, the answer is, it doesn't. If you don't play games competitively, these benefits shouldn't even matter to you. And even if you do, there are many good aim players that use a heavy mouse. It's not like you can't get good with one. And if all you care about is having fun, that's also valid.
Dark Blast!
What? That being said, lighter is actually better than heavier. So next time you G502 warriors flood the comments, just realize that people do actually care about how they play. And with that, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.